a two-man serve receive with Mulero and Isaac, using Vanderbeek and Serrano to protect the sidelines. So they were kind of doing a four-man essentially, but really those we see Mulero and Isaac taking 85% of the court. I'll be curious if that's something that they've changed or if they were already doing and I just hadn't seen it. Good pass, and Shmelev puts some backspin on the ball just over the top. A little paintbrush kill out of the middle, but a point is a point is a point, so the Stingers are going to take that one. Currently 3-1, and for anyone that was curious, due to our COVID protocol, teams do not swap benches, so these teams will stay on the same side the entirety of the match. Leo Durkin now with a float serve. Good pass by Mulero, goes to the outside, and that's going to be Morrow Isaac with yet another kill into that seam. I think there was an unfriendly bounce there for the libero on the Stingers. Kai catches a bad one. Patrice is going to go for his favorite little short tap in, force some movement from the serve receive from the Stingers. And as I say that, he sends it deep. But there's that big route from Manoval, and once again, he is over. And that's the third big route we've seen with the third infraction, so. Just got to get a little bit more clearance. Patrice goes to that low and flat, targets Jake Langlois. Alex Shmelev goes right at the middle there, and that's going to be number 2. Brett Maserati not quite able to control that one. He was a little late to the blocking move, so he was still coming up and over the net. Good swing for Alex Shmelev. Langlois with an aggressive float that just cannot quite get on top of that, and it keeps going out the back. And now Vanderbeek's going to look to put the pressure back on the Stingers with a big jump serve. And we are living and breathing the full men's volleyball experience here as missed serves are being traded left and right. See if Shmelev is able to keep his in and get a little bit of a rally going. Good high pass in the middle of the court by Serrano. They go back to Vanderbeek on the D-ball, tips over the top. Big swing there. Serrano is going to be able to get a nice dig touch. Set over by Mulero, goes deep. Langlois is there to receive. D-ball back to George. George does get the block touch, and he's able to tool that out of bounds. That's going to be a kill from Mencia. There's been an unusual amount of tight, scrappy plays at the net already between both of these teams, really playing high above the plane of the net. So good thing the refs are on top of which touches are good to go. And that's another float serve being missed long by Shmelev. See if Morrow Isaac, who's already got a couple aces logged this match, is able to come back and start threatening the Stingers serve receive once again. Big toss, good serve receive there by Langlois. And an over-the-top route there by Anoval Romero is nothing to be laughed at. Rusty Lavaya once again doing a great job to stay active, and run a nice route that holds the middle from the side of the Matadors, opens up Romero for a big swing over the top. Stingers with a 2-point lead. Back to that float serve to hit his target. And a high point of contact. Maserati makes a huge effort to get on top of that ball, see some open court and throw it down. Short float serve there was handled well by Morrow Isaac. Steps in, passes that well. Gonna clean up some sweat on the ground really quick from the side of the Stingers. Maserati with a float to the libero. Lavaya gets up, turns, and Vanderbeek not quite able to find a defensive play there to extend that rally. Great turn by Lavaya, and that's going to be a technical.
Search no more, it's here, fun and joy, endless cheer. The memory's so dear, after years, still so clear. Journey into this and more. Come on over and explore. Different world, surely say. Nothing more one can ask for. Just treat your senses. Experience, there's no pretenses. Every step is something new, perfect to refresh you. Live your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Keep your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Malaysia, truly Asia.
To try to challenge the Matador serve receive a little bit right now, because right now Serrano, Isaac, and Mulero are exactly where they want to be. Romero had some trouble so far serving long out the back of the court, but able to keep that one in. Great pass by Isaac, and they go for the quick middle attack there, running Patrice from 8 feet off the net. A nice little push set to him. They're having a really, really successful connection right now between Serrano and Patrice that was struggled to be established last year in Utah. So glad to see those two on the same page and ticking. Duquem gets an aggressive, great pass, and Langlois goes over the top, and that's that physicality and that height that I'm talking about. As soon as you try to take away his angle swing, he is ready to just jam that ball down over the top, and Leo Durkin knows exactly how to set him on that ball. Great point score there for Jake Langlois. Rusty Levaya looking to earn another real point here, see if he can extend the Stingers' lead to 3. But not able to do so. Another float serve goes long. Serrano goes to a float serve there. Perfect pass by Romero. George on the backside, dug up by Serrano, reset by Duquem, and that's going to be a back dump that's picked up by Mulero. Goes to the backside, Vanderbeek 1-on-2. Dug up, and he goes back for another swing. Langlois gets a block touch, and he tracks it down, looks for a little bit of a kick dig. Off the ceiling is allowed. Kai is able to keep that one in. Jose Mulero looks for a big one. There's the one-handed set to the outside. Isaac gets a huge kill down the line on one of the best one-handed sets from Serrano I have ever seen. Mauro Isaac is here and ready to play. Great rally on both sides, and what an end. And then a float serve into the net. Unfortunate there, but Serrano able to get a couple points. He was at one point able to tie it up there, so now we're going to see Leo Durkin come back, see if he's able to open up a little bit of that lead once again for the Stingers, create some of that cushion. Good pass by Isaac, back to Vanderbeek, a little bit tight, and there it is. Tight is not the way you want to set into the block of Jake Langlois and Alex Shmelev. Good hand pass, goes back to the middle. Patrice is going to net there, not able to keep that one clean. Here's a little bit of that run we were talking about with Leo Durkin doing a nice job keeping a decent serve in and just letting his guys play. That is the kind of rally in volleyball that the Stingers needed after their first set loss here. Good pass by Serrano. Another middle swing gives him another chance, but that's going to be dug up by Kai. Chipped over by George. In system from Mulero. Back set to Serrano, and that's going to be a 50-50 ball, and that's going to be a big point for Isaac as George Mencia goes into the net trying to contest it. A lot of physicality from Isaac, number 12 from the Matadors. Very disciplined, athletic guy that's getting up and playing well above the height of the net here. Langlois puts them in system, goes for the back one option there. gets a little bit of a double block set as number 2, Maserdi, tries to help out, but a little too slow, and that's going to be a quick attack that Langlois has run a couple times but not found success with or been set on. Good pass by Isaac. A little bit inside there. Nice cover by Mulero. This time we're going out to Vanderbeek. He swings high, deep, and that one just a bit long. Matadors looking for a touch, not going to find it. Some disciplined blocking there for the Stingers, definitely paying off. A 4-point lead here starting to develop as the Stingers are starting to dial in that consistency. A big aggressive float serve there that some say is still going. Jump serve from Vanderbeek in the net. Stingers are happy for the free points there. We're seeing the table start to turn. A couple missed serves on the side of the Matadors. Also, Duquim wearing that yellow, stepping up very well right now. Kai getting a couple digs that are extending some of these rallies and giving the Stingers a couple more chances to score points. Float goes short, almost going to be an overpass, but Serrano dishes that one backwards. A little blocking adjustment. They stay in the same rotation. That's Serrano blocking as a middle there. Georgian sees the block, and able to throw that one down, taking us into the second technical timeout here in set number 2.
Search no more, it's here, fun and joy, endless cheer. The memories so dear, after years, still so clear. Journey into this and more. Come on over and explore. Different world, surely say, nothing more one can ask for. Just treat your senses. Experience is no pretenses. Every step is something new, perfect to refresh you. Live your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Keep your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Malaysia, truly Asia.
As the teams are heading back out on the court, I love to get back into that last point, a little adjustment that the Matadors made mid-point based on where players were because of the defense they had to kind of scrap for. We saw number 2 there, Maserdi, block out to the outside, which left setter number 1, Serrano, in the middle of the court as the middle blocker who made a block move to the right, helped get the block touch, and then made his move left. They were unable to come up with that one, but those small little details are a lot of fun to check out and see these high-level players able to make that happen so effortlessly and flawlessly in transition of a play. Shmelev now for that float. Just sails that one long. That was a real close serve. Confident call from the Matadors. And now Maro Isaac seeing if he's able to hammer home another ace. And Noble Romero with a good pass, and he gets the set as a result. Goes for that hard angle. More than happy to use that double block to score his point. Big tool. George back on the jump serve. He's changing between the two fairly interchangeably, but this time he's going to put it short in the net. It's a little bit easier to be more aggressive now on the side of the Stingers. They've opened themselves up a 4-point lead, and so that's going to enable them to kind of hit a little bit more aggressive on the service line, because if they're just siding out consistently, they're going to be in an okay spot. Good pass once again by Romero, goes back to George, dug by Vanderbeek, and that's going to be thrown over and in by Patrice. Vanderbeek finding a huge dig in the back row there. Looking for a little help to clean up the floor. Very, very heads-up play there by Patrice, able to get up, see that finding an in-system set was going to probably be difficult for Serrano, and decided to end it on 2. Huge shout out to some of our volunteers today at the facility that are making sure things like scoreboard, our ball system, and the floors are all getting taken care of. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. And Oval using high hands once again. Serrano's going to have one option, and that's Vanderbeek, who chops it in, keeps it alive, taken by George. Tipped over the top by Romero. Serrano sends it outside, and Serrano takes a big swing, but no blocker there to get a hold of it. Pretty decent rotation there with some good defense by Macerdi in the back row. Romero with a good toss. Perfect pass by Mulero. Big route. And that's going to be kept alive. They're calling a block touch. Kai DeQuim gets a saving touch as well. Big swing hard into the angle, and that's going to be the setter Serrano that's able to squeak that one through a very large block. A little bit of disagreement on how that one unfolded. Serrano now has rotated the back row. Hits that float. Good pass once again by Romero. George Mencia looking to swing on that D ball, but there's a big block move made by Patrice to close to Serrano, and a nice double block on the left side. George has been relatively unrivaled on that D ball, so to see a block touch there is a good adjustment by the Matadors. Serrano with another float, perfect pass by Kai once again, and Langlois like throws that one down, but it's kept alive, and Vanderbeek takes his swing deep into the corner and able to make it work. Some really, really solid off-block defense there on the side of the Matadors to be able to extend that rally, and that's going to be a timeout called for the Stingers. What was once a 4-point lead is now a 1-point lead, and they are definitely on their heels, shall I say. Matadors are definitely grinding some points out right now. They're finding a way to extend the rallies, and those pin hitters are still contributing points left and right. Some good service pressure still on the side of the Matadors, but you know, the Stingers have started to limit some of those serving errors, but once you get into those longer rallies, they're just not quite finding them to go their way, and that's going to happen. They're definitely cleaning everything up, so this is a great timeout for them. Give them a little breather. Talk about how you want to side out on this next point. You've got a very lethal front row option in Oval Romero, apologies. So that's where I would guess Durkin is going to be looking. Apologies, that's Jake Langlois still up front. Either way, it still stands. You got two national team outsides, one for Cuba, one for USA, so no problem siding out there. There goes to the outside, and Langlois does exactly that. Finds a nice high point of contact, rips that with a lot of pace into the corner, able to side it out for the Stingers, and that's a great timeout. Able to slow the Stingers down just a tad, have a chat, catch a breath, and find your way right back on top. Levia serving now with a 2-point lead. Good pass by Isaac. Vanderbeek now goes to swing, and that ball is going to be out. Able to find a deep tool off the hand of Durkin. Serrano's been working a short float serve. Puts it a little deeper this time. Kai once again putting the Stingers in system, and one-on-one Vanderbeek against Langlois is going to go the way of Langlois every time. It's been very impressive to see how well the Stingers have continuously put themselves in perfect system. Leo Durkin not having to run around too much, getting run the offense that he wants. So it speaks volumes that the Matadors are getting enough block touches to slow that offense down right now. Mulero with a good pass. And Isaac tries to jam that one down, but George Mencia is there, sealed and ready to stop it. No cover ball able to be had. And the Stingers are back out to a 3-point lead. Float goes short. Valero with a good pass. Patrice creates a spacing on a little push one action and able to overcome Shmelev there in that little one-on-one matchup. And that's a good kill. Patrice has put in for about 6 so far this match. Definitely earning his keep in the middle today. Short float, makes Shmelev pass, great ball. Absolutely reward your middle if he's gonna give you that pass. Leo Durkin goes right back to Alex Shmelev. Jake Langlois has been launching a bunch of floats out the back of the court. See what he finds here. Good aggressive serve. One-handed to be kept alive. Kai with a great one-handed swat. Anoval with a nice swing and another one-handed dig. Jose goes out to Vanderbeek, who gets a nice chop in. Well dug by Langlois. Tight once again, and Anoval. Romero with a high line swing that he puts just outside the block and inside the defense. That legendary Langle swing there. That's exactly what I was talking about, where you've got those kind of threats. When you've got Langlois and Romero on the outside, it doesn't matter what your passing looks like. You can throw a high ball out there and let the boys swing. They're having a lot of success. We're now seeing that 4-point lead just where we were, not 10 minutes ago. The Matadors had chipped their way back into it, and Stingers just closed the door on that one real quick, back on top of this, and it looks like we're about to be split on a 1-1 set if this Stingers train rolls on. And this is the Stingers I think not only myself but a lot of fans at home might be expecting to have seen. They're returning to form very, very quickly. And, the more it goes on, the more I realize that this is kind of how Utah looked for them too. They sometimes might have started a little bit slow, but as it goes on and on, these guys just warm up and they just create an absolute unit on the court that is so hard to overcome. And we're seeing it happen here now live. Good float, that's gonna be tight. Serrano pulls it out and Isaac has to free ball it over. Duquim takes first ball, backside to George. George swings deep and there's Mencia getting his points. That's gonna be set point on set 2 here, 24-19. Langlois doing a good job controlling this serve and controlling the tempo, the Matadors offense with it. And he wanted that one, goes for the aggressive top float, but another service error. 20-24. And that's going to be Vanderbeek now looking for an aggressive jump serve to see if he can rattle the Stingers' serve receive. Oh, it's a float serve. Langlois perfectly in system. And a Novel Romero, not in any trouble at all. Goes high, point of contact. Finds that angle, and Mulero unable to come up with a dig. And that's going to be the end of set 2. 1-1 right now. So at the very least we're going to get some extra innings. That was a much cleaner second half there. Stingers started to work together very well. Kai Duquim showing a lot of value and able to extend a lot of rallies. He does a very good job. When you see the free balls coming over, he's able to just step in there, control exactly what's going on. The rest of the guys can rely on him to just take complete control. Also finding a couple digs, extending some rallies. So definitely anchoring that team right now in a good foundation to help kind of get that momentum rolling forward. On the side of the Matadors, I've been very, very impressed with their off-blocker defense. Langlois is extremely favored to angle swings and loves to just throw some tips down. And what that requires is a very, very disciplined off-blocker being ready to maybe dig a short tip, something that goes harder cross court, come underneath your block and pick something up. Jake will really attack any open court that he sees. So we're seeing a lot of good work from the Matadors, middle blockers to slow some swings down, give the defense back row a chance to play around it. But the off-blocker defense has been very, very sound. Also, very impressed by the moves that we're seeing Serrano make. He's doing a great job of working pin to pin. He's getting Patrice especially involved. And although we haven't seen Maserati too involved offensively, a lot of great block touches. He's had a couple good serving runs, so he's definitely putting in his work as the MB2 here on this Matadors squad. Over on the side of the Stingers, you know, their goal is not, they're very pin-centric as well. It's two teams that kind of play similarly in the sense that their middles are not their main way to win, and they rely on them to dictate the speed of the other team's swings. What I mean by that is the better form of the block, the more control they have for their defense to be able to get some digs and extend some rallies. If their middles are getting those touches, both of these teams are more than happy to let their outsides and their right sides battle it out. It's been a real nail biter here, and coming off of a huge upset with Southern Exposure taking down the OC Stunners, definitely a nice finish to the night, knowing that we're going to go at least to 4 games once again. So stay tuned. I hope you guys are enjoying what's going on so far. And thanks for hanging in there as we sorted out some technical issues this morning. Definitely not the goal, but, you know, proud of the team for getting everything sorted out and making it work for us. Also want to say a huge thank you to the Pierce Sports Center out here in San Bernardino, California, hosting the NVA this weekend. We greatly appreciate it. Also, big shout out to the Mikasa for being the proud ball sponsor of the NVA. Thank you once again. And once again, I don't think to any surprise, there is no adjustments on the rosters for either of these teams. They're relying on the squads they've got out on the court to be able to get the job done, and I think that's some good quality coaching decisions for both of these squads. Lineups are currently just getting checked and squared away. It's going to be Matadors that start with the serve here this time. And I believe that's going to be Romero, the first one back. The Matadors have rotated their lineup back 1, so that's going to make Serrano their first server once he has sided out. I think that's a good call. He's been able to extend some good rallies for them as well. And then most teams like to do that as well. It gets their setter back row early on, so certainly a commonality that you'll see amongst many teams. Leo Durkin in right front as well for the Stingers, so he'll be rotating back shortly. Romero with a big start to set 3 here. Tight set, able to be wiped off and reset. Serrano pulls a double block with a fake swing, gets the Lavia Jake Langlois, and Langlois gives him a hand because that's a heck of a play. Good work by Patrice to be up and available. That's the creativity that you'll love to see here in the NVA. Well done by Serrano. Short float, right back to Lavia. One-hand dig by Mulero, not quite able to be kept in bounds. Good move by Serrano to track it down. Lavia working some great angles to find his points when he's getting the sets. Mulero takes that one, puts him back in system, and Patrice not able to find that angle. Matador's getting a little mouthy and getting a warning from the up ref. Lines judge is on that line, made a quick call. He saw it well. Lavia with a short float. Set to the outside for Vanderbeek, one-on-one, able to poke that through. Durkin gets a set off to Langlois, who gets a big swing, and this is going to be a tight ball. Langlois is going to be able to jam this one down and overpower Serrano. Right now, the Matadors, the most frequent error we've seen is when they get a tight set to either pin the Stingers' sheer size is going to make those tight sets really difficult to deal with, so they got to try to pull that off where they can. And there's a huge one-handed set. We are seeing Serrano absolutely showcase his setting ability here with that one-handed move. And again, Patrice just working for every single point. He's being up and giving Serrano setting options after setting options after setting options. Great to see him getting rewarded for that hard work. And we're tied. Oh, we're not tied. Sorry, we're down 2-3 on the side of Matadors as Stingers look to side out on this first ball. Ooh, Duquem's hands are broken there, and that's going to be a point ace for Serrano. Now we are all tied up. Roll shot short. Duquem makes that move, gets a perfect pass there, and there's the redemption he was looking for. Takes care of that short serve. Set goes to the outside, and Jake Langlois is able to throw that one down outside the block. Love to see that when someone gets a result they don't want, very next point, they're able to go straight back and make the adjustment. High pass, Serrano runs, Patrice once again, dug by Durkin. Kai's gonna look for a bump set, back to Langlois. Makes an inside swing adjustment, good block touch. Quick transition to the Bic to Serrano. George Mencia resets the offense, and Langlois goes for the jam. They get a block touch called, a little bit of a disagreement here on the Matadors, and you gotta play the whistle. I saw the block touch as well myself, and there's a big touch, I think, there. But Jake Langlois knows to keep playing, keep battling, and makes it work for him there. Leo Durkin into the net. Stingers definitely have done a better job of cleaning up their serving there, and we're going to have a serving substitution now. That's going to be Mario Meza coming in for Patrice in the back row. Meza, another one of the returning Matadors from the past season. Little serving option and maybe get some more defense, see if they can extend a rally. Langlois takes with his hands, quick three ball into the awaiting open arms of Alex Shmelev, gets a nice quick swing into the middle of the court. Leo Durkin starting to find his middles a bit more this game, and it's definitely working out for him. Langlois right back with that float, and that one's in there. That drops in last second. It looks like it was going to keep going for a foot or two, and he's able to get that ace as it drops in last second. And that's the one he's been looking for. No more accidental tailing as the ball just keeps going. But that's a great ace look for Langlois. Gets the pass there outside, and that's going to be Mauro Isaac with a nice kill. Mauro got a little bit quiet in the second set, but returning to form right there with a great swing off the outside hand of the Stingers block. Vanderbeek's been alternating between jump serves and floats, so we'll see what he opts for here. Goes for the float. Langlois has just been nails on the pass all day long. And he's able to find that tip over the top, great court vision, and able to use it. And that's going to see Shmelev now try to see if he can earn one more regal point, get them with that nice 4-point pillow. Good pass, back set over. Durkin's got one option, and that's going to be a Noble trying to make that happen, but that's going to be a block closed up there by Maserdi as he gets all the way out to Serrano, and they throw that one down. A little bit of some miscommunication, it seemed like. Leo Durkin didn't have too many options there with that ball. He kind of just had to go straight up, and Romero didn't seem like he was exactly ready for the set that he got. But sometimes you just got to deal with it as the outside. Isaac now for that pressure on the back line, but serves that one into the net. George back to the float serve, goes short, targets the middle. Maserdi with a good pass. And a little misconnection there. It's going to be free balled over. Levaya tries to sneak that one in, but turns that one wide and not able to make it happen. That's going to be Mario Meza subbing back out for Patrice as he enters the front row, and Maserdi goes back to serve. Matadors are down by 2. Good pass by Romero. It's going to go right back to him. It's a tight set, but he uses it wonderfully. He finds that high seam that was not quite closed up by Patrice, and Romero uses it to a very successful tool out of bounds. 10-7 here. Good pass by Serrano. Malero follows all the way through and gets a nice pass for, looked like a good bump set, but from across the court, we now see that the only option for him to hit that one over was to hit that outside the pin. So that's going to be a point for the Stingers there, as Serrano was unable to control that one. Another good aggressive serve from Romero. Serrano looks to answer back from that pass, the last hitting error, to make that one work for him. Big aggressive swing off the outside hand once again. We're seeing some of the outsides really liking to challenge the line swing against the Stingers. And having that in their hitting rapport is definitely working out well for them. Serrano goes back to that hybrid toss for the first time this match and gets the same result that he had last time. That's going to be a serve long. Levaya with a good float, forces a little out of system bump set. That's going to be a tight one, and Vanderbeek not able to handle that. A little miscommunication on the side of the Matadors about who's going to take that ball. And all starts with a good serve target there from Rusty Levaya. 5-point lead developing. Matadors need to side this out, or Stingers are ready to run away with it. Same target location there by Levaya, handled well this time. And a one-handed reach by Langlois. He overruns that one a little bit, and Serrano able to find some hard angle there to get a point. But Stingers are siding out at a very effective rate right now. Their serve receive is almost perfect, so they're able to just trade points at this time in the game. There's George Mencia swinging that one down the line, not quite able to find it, and that one goes long. But once again, all starts with Kai Duquim there taking the first pass, drops it on top of Leo Durkin's head. Tight ball, Durkin with the one-handed, but he goes back to Romero, and another missed swing just long. These balls are barely missing the back line. Durkin having to work pretty hard for that one, as that was a very tight pass. And that's going to force the timeout here as their lead shrinks to just 2. Matadors are definitely on a nice little comeback run right now, forcing some errors from the side of the Stingers, but I always talk about the state of your serve receive dictates how I feel a team is doing. And right now, the Stingers might be missing some swings here and there, but their serve receive is exactly where they want it to be. They're passing very well. Leo Durkin is getting to run an offense that he wants to run. So it's really the pressure on the Matadors, not only to close this 2-point deficit, but to continue creating a lead while overcoming a very in-system and a very consistent team in the Utah Stingers. And that's why they were so successful out in Utah in 2020. At the end of the year, we just saw a team that, as the tournament went on, their consistency never faltered. This team always found a way to win, and they've all been there before, whether it's on an international stage, on the world stage, or at BYU, a team full of guys that have all been there before. Serrano goes short. Duquim takes that ball right back to the Bick route. Romero gets blocked, but an easy reset. This one's going to go outside, and Langlois chips it down the line. Mulero's got second ball to Vanderbeek, who's going to take a high swing deep. Does not get the swing he's looking for. And once again, the Stingers' discipline in those block moves is really showing. For a guy as tall as Langlois not to be leaving his hands out there to be used on that swing really showcases how refined his blocking move is. Mulero with a good pass, go back to Patrice, and there's Patrice finding that nice push-one connection with Serrano, able to score back into zone one. That's the side out they need there. Patrice sends that one deep. Good pass by Romero. Goes to the outside to George, and George squeaks it over but comes under the net. And that one didn't look good. We're going to have a little second here. A little disagreement as Vanderbeek landed on George there, but that's one of those rules that, you know, you can both occupy the center line, and I think that there wasn't anything too egregious. The down ref had a really good angle on that one there, so glad to see that Vanderbeek is okay. Give him a minute to shake it off, and they're going to wipe down the court, and we're going to get back to it here. Langlois finds Isaac, but Isaac in system. They go right back to Vanderbeek to give him a chance to score, and he does. Serrano understands his players on that, like, that psychological level. Get Vanderbeek fired up, get him another point before he rotates back row, get him and the team back in the game. I love to see that set well executed by Serrano there. Vanderbeek goes for the float down the line. Langlois is going to be passing that one tight, forces a tip. That's handled by Mulero. Push deep, but Duquim handles well with his hands. Serrano looks to make a move. Mulero outruns the other two Matadors, but that one was not destined to be returned on the side of the Matadors. As we see a bit of a run down the Bulls in the back. With a 3-point lead here, the Stingers are positioned in a very, very good spot to be able to just continue trading points, siding out, and maintain that lead all the way to the end. Friendly ball here from the top of the tape. Roll shot over the top, and Isaac able to use the block. And Romero in not exactly the position he was wanting to be or expecting that swing. A little redirect there from Isaac, uses the top of the hands there to better that swing very well for himself. Isaac with a good controlled serve. Langlois puts them perfectly in system, and George swings down. Serrano's out of system, and he's going to get the set here. Swings, and that's going to be rolled across the entire tape of the net all the way and just lands in the corner in zone 4 up front there. Something we saw in years past was that sometimes Serrano was left on as another setter would be brought on, and Serrano would get a chance to take some swings. So he's definitely a setter that's physical and not new to getting a chance to get some hitting reps. George goes short, good pass by Isaac. Outside, and Serrano's gonna swing that one just long into the corner. Overruled, we got a touch up top. Couple thumbs ups on the side of the Stingers saying it was a good call. Nice aggressive swing there from Serrano. Now's the time, though. The Matadors need to start pushing some real points if they want to make a move on this. Short serve. Kai handles it well. And there's Rusty Levaya with a big swing over his shoulder, getting fired up, grabbing Leo Durkin and letting him know that that's what he likes to see. Perfect tempo set. Great connection there. There's been a lot. You know, Rusty has great court vision, so he really does a good job of seeing how he's going to score a point, even if it's not hitting. But don't take that the wrong way. The big man still likes to eat. Get him a set in his wheelhouse. Let him pound a ball, and that's exactly what it'll do for him right there. Malero with a good pass, spins around a little bit, and Isaac in a big swing. One-handed dig by Duquam. And a huge swing from Jake Langlois, and that's where you rely on that top-tier level of outside hitter to step back in and get that point. I cannot say it enough. Both these liberos are doing a lot of work to extend some rallies and find ways for their hitters to get another chance on the ball there. Romero with the serve just off the top, perfect pass, and there's Patrice once again getting it fed into him. Little punch dig there from Langlois, tight set by Kai, not quite able to rein that one in. There's angle, hard angle, and then Jake Langlois' angle, and he was not quite able to find that cross-court 4-4 swing that he was looking for there. Still some ground for the Matadors to fight back from here. And that's going to be a back set into the D-ball with George, but as long as there's no block touch called, but you're getting it over here, so there's going to be a block touch call. They had a difference of view. I thought I saw one as well, and that's going to be a point there for George. George Mencia once again showing how effective and efficient he can be on the D-ball. There's been a little bit of some miscalculations and missed opportunities with the Bics, with Langlois having some back row infractions, and same with an oval, but Mencia not slowing down at all, and that is absolutely a shutdown block. Langlois gets pitted on that, full arms over the net, and blocks that one straight down. Matadors are going to go ahead and call a timeout as the Stingers take a 5-point lead into the later part of this set. Once again, if you're just tuning in, we are on set 5 of the day, the last and final. It's currently a 1-1 split, with the Stingers now leading in the last part of the third set. They're up 21-16. We've had a great day of volleyball so far. We've had a couple technical issues, but we worked through them, got everything up and rolling. So glad to see this running smoothly now. Tomorrow morning, we are going to be back live at 9 a.m. The day is going to start off with the Las Vegas Ramblers taking on Southern Exposure. Both teams got definitive 3-0 wins today. The Ramblers were able to take down the Tyrants, and the Southern Exposure with a huge upset, taking down the OC Stunner. So that's going to be a great way to start off your Saturday mornings. Hope you guys are enjoying that one and tuned in for it. Upref is, I think, warning some players, not any specific, but just the teams. I think everyone's starting to chat through the net a little bit. And I think after that last block with Langlois, I think a couple guys on the side of the Stingers were cheering through the net. So they're just making sure that no one's saying anything too egregious. And I think we're about to get back into it here. Rusty Lavaya float serve, gets the ace. Morrow Isaac not quite able to get the lift he's looking for, and that one's just not even going to hit the net. You know, if it was able to get into the net there might be a chance for Serrano to pull it out, but that one just goes under. Another ace for Lavaya. He's been kind of sneaky efficient back there, hitting a nice controlled float that he's gotten 2 aces off of and gotten some good out-of-system swings from the Matadors. This one's going out to Vanderbeek. Good block touch. Not able to slow it down quite enough, and Vanderbeek continuing to be efficient on the left and the right. With Jair Santiago leaving the Matadors, Vanderbeek is the remaining opposite that saw a majority of the playtime last season, doing a great job still being efficient. That's going to be a tight set, and Jake Langlois goes up big, but not able to find the court. His eyes were a little bit bigger than the arm swing could handle there, and that's going to be a point for the Matadors. Serrano with a jump serve, perfect pass by Romero, goes to Langlois, who goes and does a 180 jam backwards. Definitely earning style points on that swing. Set was a little bit behind him from Leo Durkin, and he was definitely on a quick route to the approach line there, and able to still find the ball and use it just how he wanted. Durkin into the top of the tape, not able to make it his friend there and squeak that one over. Patrice now gotta start chipping away at this 4-point lead if the Matadors want a chance to take this game back. Kai with a good pass, runs to Shmelev, tips over the top. Vanderbeek plays some off-blocker defense. Serrano goes to the outside to Isaac. Big swing dug by Kai. Back to Langlois on the right side. Nice dig by Serrano. Serrano's going to set to the outside, and Isaac's going to take a big rip, but that's going to be blocked back into him by Shmelev there in the middle. A lot of good side-to-side work, and Shmelev earns that one for sure. We've got a set point now here in the third. With one more point, that's going to take us to potential set point in the fourth for the Stingers. Another aggressive serve there, and Langlois, I think, with service ace or service error number 5 on the match. He's gotten a couple aces as well, so you know, it's not that they're entirely unwarranted, but just not quite finding his groove yet. I'm sure it'll continue as the weekend goes on, or continue to improve. His passing is certainly not struggling at all. Good touch by Serrano, and that's going to be set point. Going into the fourth here, Matadors cooled off a little bit, and like I said, that's just what the Stingers do. They feel like they slowly just strangle out the options and ways to continue competing with them. They early on, you know, when they're making a lot of service mistakes and they don't really have their system flowing, it's easy to look back and say, wow, they're not playing well. But the more you watch this team, that's not an infrequent thing, that they start a little bit slow and they just keep improving every little thing that's not going their way. You get to game 4, there's very little that's not going exactly how they want it. Great serve received the entire match. Continuing to find effective swings on the pin. Shmelev and Lavaya both activated pretty well there in the middle. A lot of great block touches from Shmelev And once again, Kai in the back row wearing the yellow there, finding a lot of digs to continue extending rallies. They've mitigated a lot of their serving errors at untimely points in the game. They're okay to make them when they're up by 4 points. That's when you want to get more aggressive, see if you can extend your lead a little bit more. So I like the way that they're managing the game a lot more, and we're starting to see that same team that was undefeated in Utah just 5 months ago. On the side of the Matadors, still a lot of things to be excited about with this team after losing some big names, especially like Christian Encarnacion on the outside, and also not having Jair Santiago on the right side anymore. Some pretty significant changes for that team, but you know, they've done very, very well for themselves with the new bodies that they've brought in, and we're seeing guys like Martin Patrice is really stepping up from what we've seen in the past, being involved actively, offensively, and on the service line, so doing well for them. Jose Mulero definitely living up to what we saw in the past, is one of the best liberos in the NVA, always a pleasure to watch. Vanderbeek continuing to get aggressive, and you know, these outsides have been a very, very consistent duo between Serrano and Isaac on the outside, so definitely going to have to keep an eye on them and what the Matadors have coming for them this weekend. So there's been a little bit of some surprises, teams that finished a couple months ago not where they wanted to be in Southern Exposure, LA Blaze, Matadors. They're all coming out swinging, looking good. So it's great to see teams that are taking the offseason so aggressively. They're taking it, looking to make big changes for their roster, and no one in the NBA is settling and okay with not performing up to par. So excited to see what kind of wins these teams are going to be able to squeak out this weekend, as well as definitely keep an eye on the Stingers and see if they're going to have any upsets or if they're going to be able to continue with business as usual and have a 3-0 weekend as one might predict. We're getting here back into the fourth set. We'll see if there's been any substitutions or personnel changes. Once again, I think you really let it ride right now for both of these teams. I think the pieces are there the way you like it, and I think the energy is good for the Matadors to compete, maybe make 1 or 2 adjustments, but I think if they're going to keep competing with the Stingers, a lot of individual players are making a lot of big plays. There's just some experience, size, and physicality on the side of the Stingers that's just very, very difficult to compete with. So we'll have to see how that unfolds here. But I'm seeing what looks like a potential substitution, if I'm not mistaken, and that's going to be Gilberto Sanchez coming in now in the middle as the second middle. So yeah, they're going to be go ahead and swap out Brett Macerdi, and they're going to be bringing in now Gabriel Cruz. Is that right? Did I say 18? Apologies. No, that's going to be Gilberto Sanchez. Other than that, rosters appear to be unchanged on the Stingers and the rest of the guys on the Matadors. The big thing that's really going to dictate early on how this goes, I think, is if Stingers are able to maintain the serve-receive presence and prowess that they have been able to thus far, it's really going to put a lot of pressure on the Matadors to step up their level of serves, because if they're not getting the Stingers out of system, I don't think they have enough defensive moves to be able to shut down the likes of Langlois and Romero on the outside. Serrano with a float. Aggressive dump there by Durkin, but that's spotted out. Mulero bump sets to the outside. Kai digs perfectly in system. They look for the D-ball. Jorge tips over the top, dug by Vanderbeek as the off blocker scrambles back to his feet. And now Jake Langlois gets his turn. Once again, there's that high angle swing, and you've got to be playing defense 4 feet off the net all the way across the court to pick up that block touch. Great rally there, and that's a good kill for Langlois. He really is the big exclamation at the end of the sentence for the Stingers, and that's going to be a substitution now for Alex Shmelev coming off the court, and we're going to see for the first time today, that's going to be number 17, but I don't have him on my roster, so we're sorting that one out right now. Might be a little bit of a jersey issue.
What's his name? 13. 13. So we'll make him be 13. 17. Thank you. Sorry.
So a little bit of an adjustment there. The jersey number incorrect on the lineup here. That's going to be Corey Metcalf entering the game for the Utah Stingers. Corey Metcalf plays a pretty integral role with this Stingers lineup. He plays middle blocker. I believe he also plays some outside, maybe even some right side. But they always try to give him a chance to get his licks in wherever he can. But definitely a guy that's been with them since the beginning and always happy to just do his part. So he's going to get a nod here in the fourth set. Give Shmelev a break since I'm pretty sure their two main middles are just Levi and Shmelev, and they're going to need them all weekend long. So give them a breather where you can. Rusty Levi with a float serve there. Malero is going to have a tight pass, but once again, Serrano showing his discipline, gets his one hand up, and Patrice is absolutely the middle to have for that aggressive set style, because Patrice is giving him an easy target, one-on-one options every single time, and they are delivering. Isaac now with a serve. Great pass by Romero, a little tight, but that one's going to be squeaked over. First swing of the match is a kill for Metcalf. Finds a hole as he runs that 3 route. Durkin really handling those tight passes well. Able to dish a very, very effective offense. Out of system here, and that's going to be a big swing from Serrano. Goes up with a very aggressive approach because there's no other way he's getting to that ball. Swings straight down the line and able to get a point over the shoulder of Durkin. Good side out for the Matadors. Tied up at 2 here. Good pass by Kai, and Metcalf looks for that 3 route once again, and off the bench, we're seeing Gilberto Sanchez with his first touches of the match, getting a nice point there. Langlois with a good pass, back to him. Against the grain, Serrano steps in, gets a dig. Now Durkin goes back to him one more time, tip over the top. Serrano pulls it out, and Vanderbeek takes his swing, dug by Anolvo. Chipped off the outside of the block there by George Mencia. Anovo's playing some great back row, finding great touches to extend some rallies. Putting him back there next to Kai is really rounding out this Stingers defense nicely. Pretty scary what'll happen when they've got both of these outsides as well as Storm added back. But they're in a great spot right now. Langlois going cross court. Malero gets a quick but on target pass, and Gilberto Sanchez tries to make a hole in the floor with a big swing like that. Once again, you love to see that fire coming off the bench, even 4 sets in, wasting no time getting his chances to get some big swings. Kai once again comfortably going to his hands, and that's going to be a huge dig by Vanderbeek, kept on the side, and that's going to be called a net against the Matadors. Great dig by Vanderbeek. There's not a whole lot there to do but take a swing, and that's tight on the net, so there is a net violation against the Matadors, and it's going to go to Corey Metcalf now on the back line. Serve short. Isaac puts it up in the middle of the court. Serrano to Serrano. And there's that connection, but that's going to be blocked in, and that's going to be a point for George Mencia. Both teams trading neck and neck right now. No one able to open up a lead just yet. And there's the aggressive dump dug by Leo Durkin. Step close. That's going to be dug out here by Vanderbeek. Serrano throws it all the way back. An aggressive swing by Serrano. Nice dig out of system. Langlois is going to lay that up, but it's going to be an overpass. Gilberto Sanchez once again flexing the offensive power that he is bringing off the bench here in the fourth set. Great rally put to rest quickly there by Sanchez in the middle. Serrano with a float serve. Perfectly in system and a great tempo set to the outside. That ball is coming quick to the pin. Nice set there and a great swing by Romero to finish the point off. George Mencia opting to go back to that jump serve once again and not quite able to find it over the net. And now we're tied at 6-6. This will be the first time we see Gilberto taking a rip on the service line. Opts for a float serve. Puts that one just long. Some good talk there by George Mencia as he filters behind the back row guys. He makes sure they know that ball's going long. Do not touch it, free point. Romero connects with that one. Good pass. Serrano's got one option though, and that's going to be Isaac going for the sharp swing. Langlois airs it out, and he takes his turn. That one's going to go out the back of the court off of the block hands there. That's some great off-block defense there by Jake Langlois, and a nice bump set by Jorge Mencia to get him also. Ready to start pushing that lead if they're able. We've had a lot of good rallies here, but the physicality once again of the Stingers, they're finding ways to end rallies quickly using their big outsides. It's working well for them. Romero connecting well in the last couple jump serves. See if he's able to find this one out of the technical timeout as well. He is, and that's going to be popped up in the middle court by Malero. This one's going to hit the ceiling, so it's going to be a bit of a free ball send over. Kai takes that one, go to the backside. George Mencia, deep swing into the court, and the blocking adjustment for the Matadors just doesn't look like it's being made in how to handle that D-ball threat. Romero definitely putting the pressure on the Matadors serve receive from the back line. Jump serve in to the net. See how I caught that one there? Matadors able to get a side out here, and Stingers once again, they have been unshaken thus far in their serve receive, so see if Serrano can open anything up. Looks like they're, oh, Malero makes a flying move across the court. It's interesting, it looks like the Stingers are starting to speed up that set to the pins a bit with Durkin working both of his guys a little bit quicker now. And so as they kind of dial in that comfort zone being back on the court, it looks like we're going to see both of these outside hitters getting activated even faster. Rusty Levaya, see if he can open up a couple points like he's been good for several times this match. But Patrice wants to put an end to that early. He's really producing well for the Matadors out of the middle. Metcalf not able to get the block touch that he needs to slow that one down. Isaac's been putting good pressure with his jump serve all night. And there it is once again, but Kai just handles it well, and Metcalf takes it as his turn. It's been a lot of middles trading back and forth. We saw Metcalf started off, Patrice answered. Now Patrice goes back to him, and they make sure that Metcalf gets a chance. Little game of chess going on in the middle of the court right now. Durkin goes for that float short serve. Little 360 spin there for Serrano as Vanderbeek sends that one deep, and it's going to be a free ball coming back. They've got an option here. Go back to the middle, but a commit block there from the Stingers is able to help that one out and shut it down early. I think it was a little bit too predictable. There's been so much productivity out of the middle. I think the Stingers thought it was safe to assume that's where it was going, and that's a great read block there. Patrice stopped for one of the first times in 3 sets. Durkin forces, oh, that's a great tight pass, and now Vanderbeek goes up, but Jake Langlois gets his turn. Back-to-back blocks from the Stingers, and that's going to open them up to a 5-point lead, forcing a timeout for the Matadors. This is certainly much more characteristic of the Stingers that we were expecting to see. You know, it was just fixing those little pieces, but the one thing that has been absolutely unwavering is their serve receive. And if you've ever seen men's volleyball, any team that can pass consistently is going to be a threat. These teams are all very capable offensively. It's a matter of how well they're able to manage the speed and flow of the game in their serve receive. And right now, there is not a single person on the side of the Stingers that is getting rattled or showing any form that they're ready to be the next serving target on the side of the guys wearing blue over here. So Matadors just have to keep trying to find ways to serve aggressive, get some seams overlapping. Maybe they can get a miscommunication, but right now, Kai, number 7, is absolutely taking control of the back line and handling everything that's not a driven down ball. Leo Durkin's been flirting with the top of the tape on his serve all night long, so coming out of the timeout, we'll see if he's able to keep an aggressive serve low and float it in. Well, the top of the tape certainly wasn't an issue, but the back of the court was. That's going to be a nice timeout point there for the Matadors. Everyone look at the coach, point to him, make sure he knows. Patrice going back for that short float. Targets Romero, but a great pass, and there's that sped up tempo. It's not just the outsides that are being sped up. Jorge Mencia gets his turn too. But when your passing is as good as it is for the Stingers right now, Leo Durkin can set any way he wants. So it's nice to see these guys continuing to just up the aggressiveness and see what they can make happen. There's a big route option that doesn't quite connect. Early on, we saw a little bit of some big options opening up there for the Matadors, but they've kind of abandoned it in the second and third set. So be curious if they try to return to that as maybe a way of scoring some points here in the fourth set. High ball out. There's going to be an out-of-system swing as Mulero bump sets that to Serrano. Serrano takes a deep swing, but outside the court. Stingers very happy with the way.
Search no more, it's here, fun and joy, endless cheer. The memories so dear, after years, still so clear. Journey into this and more. Come on over and explore. Different world, surely say. Nothing more one can ask for. Just treat your senses. Experience is no pretenses. Every step is something new, perfect to refresh you. Live your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Keep your favorite memory. Malaysia, land of memory. Malaysia, truly Asia.
And in, both of these teams are ready to retake the court. And Stingers are looking at this point to finish off what they've started. They've extended their lead to 7 points. We're going to see a substitution here. That's going to be number 14 coming in for the Matadors. So that's Eduardo Allen Zuniga. And he is going to be replacing there, it looks like Serrano. Just get him a couple reps, and there is a deep float that finds the corner. That's what Jake Langlois has been looking for. And so early on we were talking about the serves that he was missing, and now we're having a chance to talk about the serves that he's making. Stingers look to make an adjustment of their own as well. Carson Henninger comes in for right side Jorge Mencia. Langlois with a big float, gets on top of it, and it's going to be a free ball coming back over. Nice pace put on that ball. And now we go back to Carson. Cold off the bench, scores his first points. Henninger gets involved. There's a good down ball from the side of Malero there, but Kai was more than ready for it. Put the Stingers right back in system, and Leo Durkin getting to do exactly what he wants. Can't say it enough, but I'm probably not going to stop saying it now. Nice off speed, good pass by Malero, goes back to the middle, and that's going to go just wide, but another great offensive look there from number 8, Gilberto Sanchez. I'm missing something. I think there was a block touch. That makes that swing look even better. Point on the board for Matadors. Vanderbeek now looking for his float. Little unique set that I wish I could use words to describe, but I can't. So just go ahead and rewatch that one more time. That was one of the most creative sets we've seen of the day. And a great way to get Carson involved. Metcalf with a good float. Serrano getting the middle involved. Good dig back there by Metcalf. Set goes outside. That's going to be outside the antenna and be a point for the Matadors. First serve now from Zuniga that we're going to see. Goes for the float and puts that one into the net. An unfortunate situation, but when you're down by 9 right now, the way the Stingers are, the way they're passing, you're going to have to be aggressive. And that's not the aggressive serve I think that's going to get you there, but you got to start putting some pressure in. So that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. We're going to see Henninger coming back on the service line one more time, see if he can warm it all up and make it happen after being on the bench for a couple sets. Finds that one into the tape. But again, with a 9-point lead, now shrinking to 8. He's more than happy to just toss that one up, go after it, and see what happens. Sanchez goes float to Kai, and that's going to be a D ball set to Carson Henninger, touch called. Okay, now that it has been confirmed no touch, so that's going to be 4 for the Stingers. And a point going to the Matadors. Sanchez going across the court once again, able to break that one through Kai's hands. Tight set, this one's a little dangerous. Reset, punched out to the outside and free balled over by Durkin. Patrice with another one-handed set, covered up with a great diving move, and that's going to be a net on the side of the Matadors. Going the way of the Stingers. Nice defensive move there, middle back by Moro Isaac. He's had a great match thus far and definitely a shining light on this team. Excited to see what he can do the rest of the weekend. Romero chops it short, goes for the off-speed, forces an overpass, and Rusty Lavaya says that set looks perfect. I think I'll take a swing. Now we've got a setter substitution. That's going to be Hamilton Day coming in, and that's going to let Leo Durkin take a seat. Timeout called on the side of the Matadors. They're down 9, so they're in a tough spot. Backs against the wall here. Maybe try to come up with one more game plan, how they can make some adjustments, but I think this one's all but done. On the side of the Stingers, we just have not been able to see any serving scheme, anything like that that's been able to really get them out of system. Kai's had maybe 2 passes that through his hands, broke a platform, something like that, over the course of 4 sets. So it's certainly not a reliable way back into this game. And overall, Kai's been having an excellent performance tonight. Definitely one to be proud of. So I think Matadors are just kind of circling it back together, try to get the boys with one little final push and see if you can get some points scored your way, maybe a little momentum, and see what happens from there. With the recent service pressure we've seen from Romero there, I don't think he's letting them get anywhere in system. And as I say that, I get a ball hit right into my chest. I get the game ball touches right there. Always got to have a head on the swivel when you are courtside, and that's going to be an ace for Inoval Romero. And there it is once again, back-to-back aces for Inoval Romero. His service pressure has only continued to excel as this match goes on. And here at match point, he is certainly not letting up. See if he can go for the hat trick here once again. Mulero scooting everybody all the way over to the left as much as he can to take as much court as possible. Shrink those seams down. And Romero puts the third and final one into the net. And that's going to bring Serrano onto the final service run that he's got to really start doing some damage. He's got 10 points he's got to score before this one comes to an end. He goes back for that hybrid, hits it in. Lavaya, nice deflection there, and Langlois is going to chip that one down the line, and that's all she wrote. That's going to be the Stingers taking down the Matadors in 4. After a solid set, 1 from the Matadors, the Stingers close it up, handle business, and show us exactly why they are the top threat in the NVA. To everyone that is tuning in right now, we appreciate you guys dealing with some technical issues that were happening early on this morning. Hopefully we've gotten over that hump, and we've got 10 more great matches for you this weekend. We definitely cannot wait to see the Las Vegas Ramblers take on Southern Exposure tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If you haven't already, be sure to check out NVAUSA.com, download the NVA USA app on any of the app stores, as well as be back here on YouTube tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. You guys coming in volunteering, it just, the amount of manpower we need to make these